They don't even know to even go out there and research this information. And then there's a lack of therapy within relationships. There's a lack of therapy within just individuals in our singleness.
Right.
So a lot of us we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I can only hold people accountable for so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it, it's an opportunity for me to maybe spark an interest, right? Or give them a little bit of information. Hopefully they'll go and do the research. I'm not divorcing because women just want to divorce. Oftentimes they're divorcing in response to. So there's always exceptions. So I'm definitely not saying that. But I would say that I don't see Will. I get what you're saying, but I see more Will as a codependent. We can have this conversation offline, but I see Will as more of a codependent versus.
Yeah. But anxious people with anxious attachment styles are codependent.
Yeah, I get it. I think Will is exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, Will, he said when he was 15 years old, he had a girl cheat on him.
Yeah.
And he was so crushed. Mm-hmm. He said that in his mind, he determined at that point that he was going to be the most successful guy. He was going to be big in Hollywood, and that would never again happen to him. But it did.
Someone told him that is what he needed to be in order to have a woman not cheat on him.
Well, no,
at 15, where did he get that message from?
Well, at
15, where did you get that message?
At 15, I doubt that.
Does tell you that.
Huh?
No. Where do you get the message?
Society tells you that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So someone told him that, and he truly believed. Anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to belabor the point. I'm just saying that this notion, I don't want to walk away that, well, even though, women, initiate divorce at 70 or 80%, that it must have been something that the man did. I have to push back on that, because if the roles were
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I'm not saying it.
Okay, well,
I get it if that's what you're perceiving.
No,
that's not really what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is, if the roles were reversed, and divorces were initiated by men 70 or 80% of the time, I don't think many people. I'm saying this because I've heard this argument before from women, and I don't think that women would say, that
it must be
something that the women did. Because they don't, right? So I
think we would. It's only the South. No. I think we would say that. I think if we're fair.
I'll give you an example. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with divorce and marriage, but it just has something to do. You take the same action, right? And how it's perceived by women in both cases is totally different. Ray Rice was a running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Rice got into an altercation with his wife, and proceeded to get physical with her, and he kind of knocked her out. Now putting the fact that he's a man and all that aside, right? Women looked at that situation and said, he's wrong. He should never put his hands on a woman. They did not say she must have done something. Flip side of that, you had Solange attacking Jay-Z in the elevator, and Jay-Z was not physical with her. He sat there and he ate it. She was punching him. She was kicking him, and the majority of women I encountered said he must have done something wrong. He had to do something in order for her to have that type of response. See, do you not see the double standard?
Of course I do, but I'm still not saying that though.
Okay.
Of course I definitely wasn't a fan of Solange attacking Jay-Z. So I do see the double standard. It's just not what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, and I apologize.
That's what society says, though.
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's just us.
Yeah, I don't want to mischaracterize your position. So I'm just saying that right now. I don't want to mischaracterize your position. It's just that I've heard that enough, and it just seems like there's justification for it. Now, there are other reasons for that, and it's largely communication. Largely communication is the reason for these divorces. Communication is what leads to infidelity or lack of communication. How we talk to one another, a man feeling like he's not being respected by a woman not feeling like she's being respected by a man, and then all of a sudden somebody else has better communication that stimulates their mind and so forth. These type of things lead to infidelity. Finances. It's not so much the finances as it is how we talk about finances that cause these arguments. Like a lot of our conflicts, it stems from how we talk to each other. With a lack of respect, we have a tendency. Well, what is it? There's like 4 things, right? Invalidation, right? Escalation, invalidation, negative interpretation, and there's one more. So with escalation, I'm talking to you and you're talking to me, but you feel like I'm not listening. So then you raise your voice. And then when you raise your voice, I raise my voice. And before you know it, something that's small becomes big because of escalation. That is a problem with communication. Invalidation. You tell me something and I show you that I care. And then when I start telling you my feelings, you poo-poo my feelings, maybe because I'm a man and you're dismissing it as if it's not, it's of little to no significance. That's also a problem. I can't think of the third one, but the fourth one is negative interpretation, where I'm trying to tell you something. Like I'll tell you, well, can't you wear another dress? Oh, what you trying to say? I'm fat? And then and then you get into an argument because you're interpreting negatively what I'm saying. So as much as everybody likes to think it's infidelity, it's really communication. But our communication is really shaped or influenced by our attachment styles. Like a lot of people tend to think that they have a secure attachment styles. I'm listening to you, and my assumption is that you have a secure attachment style, but not everybody does. People who grow up and they're really insecure. Sometimes, you have women or men for that matter who grow up in single family homes. Certain things happen and it impacts their ability to form attachments. And people bring that into relationships. And the problem is we don't know enough about attachment styles. We don't know what our attachment styles are. We don't know what our significant other's attachment style are. And if we knew, then we would know how to better address our issues with communications and how we deal with each other. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. Funny thing is that my attachment style isn't secure. I definitely am very aware of mine. Okay. So I have to always keep myself in check. I think that a lot of us don't, and I mean us meaning whomever's watching, don't always know. And again, this is information that we weren't always privy to. Only reason why I know because I'm a sociology major, right? Mm-hmm. That's my degree, that's my background, right? In psychology. So naturally, those things I'm privy to, but a lot of people aren't. And so they don't even know to even go out there and research this information. And then there's a lack of therapy within relationships. There's a lack of therapy within just individuals in our singleness. Right. So a lot of us don't know what we don't know. Right. So at the end of the day, I can only hold people accountable for so much. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it, it's an opportunity for me to maybe spark an interest, right? Or give them a little bit of information. Hopefully they'll go and do the research. Yeah. So these conversations are great. You
beat me to it. I was just getting ready to say that is why I love us having these type of discussions and conversations, because I believe we as men and women need to sit down and talk to each other instead of talking past each other. And there are going to be times that we disagree, and sometimes it's going to get a little bit spirited, but that's okay. Right. Sweet Jones, go ahead and give me your thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up with closing remarks.
Are we talking thoughts on the video, the Kevin Samuel video?
Right. And divorce as a contagion.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I take Kevin Samuel videos with a grain of salt, man. I really just look at his videos for my own comedy relief. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he be going at women hard as hell, and it be in some ways or a lot of ways unjustified. So I kind of just, I don't really, I miss a lot of the messages whenever I would even listen to what he's got going on, because I'm busy finding something to laugh at, you know. But as it pertains to, you know, some of the things that, you know, you all have been discussing, I happen to lean towards, I guess, the male point of view when it comes to, when I heard you mention, you know, women will lead will lead each other down these wrong paths, as far as, you know, well, I got divorced, girl, you see I'm doing okay. You know what I'm saying? I think I like to go back to that whole, you know, I don't know if I could just say Martin and Gina, but, you know, it's that whole you go girl culture. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
they you know, they all rally around each other for some of the worst things, you know what I'm saying? Because they just want to be together. They have support. They need that support, whether it's to get married or to get divorced, you know, more so than us men do, you know. You know, and as far as the thing that you all just said about the two elevator incidents. I mean, not that this is a who do I think right or who do I think wrong, but I think there's some truth to what AK said, you know, because I too, you know, when I heard, you know, people talk about the incidents,